Hola, bonjour, and hello, everybody. You are listening to Worldwide Tea. It is the one and only podcast where every single week we cover everything going on the international seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race. And as always, I'm Evan Sadi from Pop Matters.
I'm Gregory from the playlist.
And y'all, we're having a special episode this episode, because why not? What we're doing is that this week we're going to be covering the Meet the Queens for season 18. It is right around the corner. But again, as always, if you know anything about Worldwide Tea, you know as a listener, you're getting the VIP experience. We have the access to the Velvet Rope. We've unhooked it. We're allowing you right backstage to the press area, to the green room, to where the free candy bars are. That's what we do. If you heard our coverage of Canada Drag Race season 4 or season 6 episode 4, we actually ended it with an exclusive interview with Silky Nutmeg Ganache and Alyssa Edwards to talk about Slaycation, which is just airing right now. And now our wonderful and dear friend Gregory Elwood of the playlist and sometimes the LA Times, he was in New York for the season 18 premiere. Greg, how was it? Walk us through it. I'm so curious.
So first of all, I do need to preface it because my friends all think that I've seen the first episode. It was a premiere party. So it wasn't
I see.
really they didn't really show they showed a little bit, they showed little clips of like the queens coming into the workroom, not really much more than what you've seen in the new trailer. So it wasn't a premiere, like we didn't watch the first 20 minutes or anything in that vein. It was more of like a party, a press party, like to get people excited about the season. And um for a very, very special moment. They brought 16 of the former winners of both the regular season and All Stars for sort of a mini reunion, or actually a pretty large reunion. I mean, there's only been
Yeah.
18 seasons, or there's
And
18
only like
regular
six or
seasons.
so queens didn't show
Yeah.
up, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there were a number, and we should just really preface it. Bob, I mean, I'm gonna break the tea. Bob was not there because they were being paid to do something for the traders in Los Angeles. They couldn't make it. Bianca would have been there, but her Broadway show got out at 9:30. She wasn't gonna make it in time. It all made, she would have if she could have. Um, there are two queens that will go unnamed that are no longer part of the family, and we're probably not invited.
You
And we're
could
gonna
probably
let you.
figure out who that is,
Yeah,
internet
you can figure out
detectives.
who they are.
Yeah.
I believe Trinity the Tuck would have been there, but she had an emergency with her with a pet. Like she was all over social media sort of about it. And then in terms of other that was the only, even with All Stars, those were the, oh, and Chad Michaels, who, Mother Dust is just in San Diego doing her thing.
Mhm.
Like she probably just didn't want to come all the way to New York for that. But everyone else was there. I Also BB Zahara Benet looking snatched, girl, like stunning. The OG winner was there. Oh, and Alaska also wasn't there. I wonder why that has
Hmm.
happened, sadly.
Craziness abound. But
Craziness. It was so
before
good.
we get it, yeah, before we get into the details, the thing to know is that always in this house of
Sure.
love, we believe all drag is valid, and no queen ever deserves online hate. As an American entertainment journalist, we may not get every cultural reference and always appreciate corrections. And there's some truly great queens who aren't good at drag race, and we love them all the same. And most critically, we've done this before. We've done Meet the Queens for the international seasons. We've done Meet the Queens for the domestic seasons as well, and it's so cool because we're going to talk about our feelings about the queens. Greg, the king of Mykonos that he is, knows several of the queens who passed their way through here. But most critically, Greg, from what I understand, as we go through these queens, you may have gotten some exclusive audio with some of them, correct?
I did. But I so apologize, Evan. I just wanted to go
Oh,
back and finish my thought because you started talking
I'm so
about.
sorry.
No,
Yes, my
it's okay.
apologies.
It's all right. I just wanted to say it was absolutely amazing to see all of these winners there together. And it actually meant a lot for them. They were super happy to be there and have this moment. And I just want to do a shout out because there've been a lot of changes at Paramount because of the recent acquisition from Skydance. And there have been so many people who've been part of the Paramount team, not the World of Wonder team, who have helped push Drag Race
Hmm.
across the finish line season after season. Amazing publicists. We are media, and our job is to work with these our colleagues on the other side
Hmm.
every day, and they have. Listen, we have great jobs. We work in entertainment, we work with people, but it's a tough job. And I always say, like, if you can be a publicist and you can wrangle 14 drag queens down an event without any event, like you can do anything. And unfortunately, there were a lot of layoffs, and a huge chunk of the Paramount team that had been working on Drag Race were let go. And um, this event was partially a sort of a celebration of also these people, including someone I'm going to shout out, the fantastic Michael Fabiani. If you are a fan of these queens, you've seen many of them call him out in their social posts. And in fact, Jada Essence Hall gave him a huge shout out. There was a little moment where they brought her a birthday cake. It was her birthday. And she shouted him out. And I just want to say, if you have loved Drag Race, if you've loved seeing any of the amazing social media stuff when they celebrate Asian representation or Latino representation or trans representation, it's all beginning with Michael. And sadly, he will probably not be part of this world anymore, or Paramount side of it in a few weeks. But there's so many people behind the scenes that allow all of us, you, me, our friends, everyone listening to experience Drag Race beyond just the show. And
Mhm.
that this event was also a little bit of that. So I am personally very thankful to everything Michael has done and Paramount has done. I'm hoping the new team that's on board, which may not be a little queer or LGBTQ plus for me, sort of figures things out, but it is what it is. But the
Mhm.
great thing is the show is being run by World of Wonder. It is not run by
Mhm.
Paramount. It will be incredible,
Mhm.
just like all the international seasons. And we should talk about these amazing queens because their representation is still out there and it's freaking incredible. So,
Yeah.
Evan, are you ready to meet the queens of RuPaul's
I've
Drag Race
never
Season
been
18?
more ready. And it's actually wild because you have talked about some of these queens before even
Yeah.
the season had aired. So I have a degree of familiarity with them a little bit, but something tells me Greg's gonna have a lot of insider tea on this one. But I know
Ah.
that's what y'all are listening to Worldwide Tea for. That's why y'all doing it. So Greg, let's get into it. If we're going by alphabetical order, I think the
Mhm.
first one is a doozy. Greg, who's our first queen for season 18?
Our first queen is the R House legend from Miami, and also the current reigning queen of Mykonos, Athena Dion. Athena is, wait, are you ready, Evan?
I am
I
ready.
believe, I believe she is 38 years old.
That is
Does not
correct.
look a day over 30 in real life in person. Seen her many times out of drag. She's a
Hmm.
fantastic person. She is I've explained she's sort of like she reminds me, and this is a compliment, the East Coast Morgan McMichaels. She is a great host. She is fantastic behind the mic, and she knows how to spot talent. You know
Hmm.
her drag daughter is Morphine Love Dion. She's also, I think, is it official or semi unofficial, like Plain Jane's drag mother as well.
Hmm.
She actually has
Yes.
a large stable of drag children that she has helped lift up in their careers. And her drag granddaughter, although they're maybe not thrilled that that's how it's referenced, is also on this season. We'll get to her later. But this look, this fantastic uh, lame, like gold look.
Winged shoulder. Yeah,
By
exactly.
the way, also very European drag. I believe this is Rochart as well. I believe this is
Okay.
Rochart Designs. We're gonna get to him in a second. What did you think of this look? And also, what did you think of her Meet the Queens, Evan? Her video interview.
She. Well, first off, do you contest the claim that she says she's, quote, the queen of Mykonos?
No, she is. So
Okay.
the Queen of Mykonos was Priscilla, who
Right.
was the host of Drag Race Italia. And Priscilla was the main host, the star, the number one billing at Jackie O's, which is the number one place where drag queens perform in Mykonos. When Priscilla got Drag Race Italia, it shot during the summer, during the same time as they would have been booked in Mykonos, and Athena took over. So for about 5 years now, or over 5 years, it's been. I guess it was this past summer was 5 years. Athena has been the Queen of Mykonos and the number one build star there. No one
Yeah.
disputes that.
The thing that was the most surprising is that I didn't get as much personality out of her MTQ as I
Mm,
thought. But I will say I was very surprised to learn Athena Dion. Oh yeah, the Dion's from Celine Dion. Oh, I somehow never put that together. I never knew
me
that
either.
House of Dion was a thing. But like, okay, cool. I just didn't correlate. But yeah, overall it was very good. I think their dynamic, having a mother-daughter dynamic on screen is going to be fantastic. But I know she's been around. I think she was like in 2024, she was on The View. She was talking about some of the
Hmm.
drag bands in the area. She was been in America's Got Talent as like a Spice Girls parody group. She's been around, and I think that's great. Apparently, she's auditioned for the show 13 times too,
Yes.
so she is ready for her moment. And I think that's probably one of the things that will probably drive her is the fact that she's ready. She's ready for it more than anything else. So yeah.
Two quick things I just want to say about her before we move on. I will just say this. She's a good performer, but even though her drag daughters may be stunning, incredible dancers,
Hmm.
she's not the dancer. So
Yeah.
just prepare yourself for that if you
Set
think
your
that it runs with the fit,
expectations.
set your expectations. And
Yeah.
also something that I will help her think that will help her go very far if she does go far in this season is she has experienced so much because of what her career has done. Nothing really phases her. She has performed in front of billionaires coming off yachts, coming up to Jackie O's, and stars from all over the world, from all she has she has a breadth of world experience that even this older cast, many of them don't have. And I think that that
Hmm.
will help her very much. I'm sort of excited to see how she sort of takes it all in.
Yeah. Fully agree. Fully agree. I'm excited. It'll be fun.
Up
Up
next,
next.
oh boy, what did you think of Miss Briar Blush from Boston, Massachusetts, Evan?
It's the thing where I will say she's apparently named after a doll that a photographer had during a photo shoot one time, which was
Hmm.
fascinating. The thing is that I kind of liked a lot of what she was putting down. She said that she designs a lot of her own looks. Didn't say she sewed all of her looks. Like she at least designed all of her own
Hmm.
looks, which is good. Loves androgynous queens, which is great. She is a big horror movie fan. She's the only queen I could tell who did the 6'7" meme in the middle of the MTQ. She also loves the TCM classic divas she loves like watching like classical films. I love a queen with a POV and aesthetic. Apparently, she is the drag sister of Jarvis Hammer, who was a
Hmm.
contestant on season 5 of Dracula, which I did not
Yeah.
realize until fairly recently too. So has a little bit of horror in her veins or whatnot. I'll be honest, she left a bit of an impression on me at the MTQ. I was a little bit surprised. Yeah. What did you think?
Yeah, I would just say this beautiful pink look that she wears in
Uh-huh.
her promo look. I don't think it's indicative of her normal drag aesthetic. I don't want to say it's that far off, but
Right.
she does go a little darker normally in what she sort of does. Also, she's the second youngest queen of this season.
Hmm.
She's 20, she was 25 at least when they recorded it. Um I will also say, she may be the center of a lot of drama for while she is on the season, and I'm very curious to see how the fans sort of take her. We've had Plain Jane, we've had Katja from Boston, who've sort of been breakouts and sort of loud, and Corey King, in
Hmm.
many ways. She might not be as positive a reaction, but we're gonna see. But I do think she is going to be no holds barred, and I'm very curious to see how that works out. What did you think of this look that she helped design?
Overall, I thought it was lovely. It was the thing where it definitely stood out of the promo looks because it definitely felt like I would say the most traditionally drag in a sense too, where you have all these different like cascading pleats of fabric down at the pink. I thought everyone else went with more of kind of like a Golden Warrior kind of ish vibe, so it kind of broke the mold a little bit. But overall, like it was good. It was solid. I
Mm,
would say arguably overall the promo looks are pretty good across the board. I would say like
yeah,
there's no really weak one in the bunch. So yeah.
I agree. Up next is Sierra Mist
Sierra
from
Mist.
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Indianapolis.
By the way, Evan, did you get her name? Like what she's I mean, not everyone understands what Sierra Mist is. So like
Yeah,
I don't think it exists.
yes. I am
Okay.
old enough from the AOL and semester era to remember the drink Sierra Mist. Yes, I do remember that. But spelled like Sierra, the pop singer behind One Two Step and other legendary classic songs, and a hell of a dancer too. Yes. In her NTQ, she talks about how her signature smell, which by the way, just a quick note, Greg, quick note. In the MTQ, I don't know why production felt the need. Are you going to do your big one this season? The fuck is that? The
I
fuck
don't
is that? A lot of queens seemed very confused by that question, as was I, as the viewer.
I'm confused, but I saw somewhere that someone said it has to do with a reference that Mistress does, Mistress Isabel Brooke. It's like a reference that she's said or that like she has done online. I don't know. But it has something to do with Mistress. Like that's all I know. And
Okay.
they're trying to keep the theme going, I guess. I don't really know. But what did you think of this look, Evan?
This look I thought was fantastic. I'll be fully honest. It kind of gave me a little bit almost like it's like the face was very clearly in that Theron slash Crystal Method kind of like almost like clown horror vein. The spikes, the aesthetic, and everything. It was good. I like the warrior thing. I love the boots. Love the boots. Overall, it was a good aesthetic. I thought the makeup was particularly striking, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like her visually. I think she's really interesting. She's one of
Mhm.
those like artistic queens that we always love in international seasons that tend to go home early, for
Yes.
no reason. But I sort of love this look, and I am very curious. You would not in. It's funny. It's almost like Crystal Method or Diabetti, like these Midwest queens. You would not
Hmm.
think would be as like bold and artistic, which is a
Hmm.
horrible take on we shouldn't have that prejudice that they might not be that they maybe that helps spawn this creativity like living in the Midwest, but I'm super curious about what you can do. And in fact, Evan, I believe when I was at the Meet the Queens, sorry, when I was at the season 18 party, I believe I talked to Sierra for a little bit.
You did?
And quick heads up to people, please understand it was a very loud room. So you will hear the audio clearly, but there are people talking in the background. But please enjoy this little quick conversation I had with Sarah Mist.
Congratulations on being in the show.
Thank you so much.
What, in one word, just say the experience so far? How would you describe it?
Fun. The most fun. I know that's 3 words,
Yeah,
but
whatever.
fun with like all capital, periods in between, Fun. Fun.
So I have to ask, this look is absolutely stunning. We've seen nothing like it in the promos from you yet,
Thank you.
or what they've shown. Did you design it? Can you say who the designer?
Absolutely. So I partnered with Beck Jones, who's here with me tonight,
Nice.
and we wanted to do a dragified version of Ivan Ooze from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. So for all of my Power Rangers fans, you know, you can never lose if you've got your own supply of Ivan's Ooze.
Because you are a superhero fan, correct?
I love comic books. I love superheroes. Supervillains have the best outfits, though.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, yes. Supervillains are like notoriously queer and flamboyant, so it kind of fits with drag. But yes, I'm a huge nerd. I love comic books. I love superheroes. Power Rangers was one of my first loves as a kid.
Are you a Marvel or DC?
More Marvel. DC can be okay, but I was raised on Marvel, so I'm a little biased.
You're a
there.
little biased.
Yes.
Are you excited about Avengers Doomsday? Is that like or are you not really like, whatever?
No. I'm invested. I have loved all of the work that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has done to build up all of these storylines. One of my favorite storylines is the Young Avengers, and I feel like we've been teeing up to some of those storylines. We've introduced almost all of the original group of the Young Avengers ensemble, so I'm waiting for us to get that in the cinematic universe in its totality, but I'm worried that we're not going there. So I'm very curious on how they're going to approach some of their next phases. With Doomsday, we sort of abandoned some of the Kang saga, so I feel like the writers are giving us a lot of things. Some things maybe just left as an open-ended thing, but I'm very intrigued to see where the next phase of the MCU takes us.
So I have to ask about this. So I don't know if you saw, but like Drag Race Brazil just was at Comic-Con São Paulo. They had a
amazing.
whole big setup there.
That's
Is
incredible.
that like a crossover you would want to do? Would you want to be going to? Is that your world or not really?
Absolutely, no. Drag should be everywhere in the world. Let's start there. Drag does not just need to be exclusive to queer spaces or LGBTQIA plus spaces. Drag can exist in all of these forums, and I think there's overlap, especially with my artistry, in the world of nerd culture, in the world of horror. So horror conventions and conventions like Comic-Con are absolutely places where I can see Sierra Mist living in the future.
That's awesome. Just really quickly, what was the one challenge you were most afraid of before going to the show?
Oh, I don't think I was afraid of any challenge, to be honest. I was excited and invigorated to try new things. I come from a smaller community,
Yeah.
and one of my biggest goals going into Drag Race was to be reinvigorated by the drag that I was seeing around me. Felt like I was performing at a high caliber and challenging my own creativity,
Yeah.
but I was so excited to be in an environment where I was seeing other types of drag that I wasn't familiar with, and to be put into situations where I wouldn't have thought to ask myself to do a backflip somersault 20 times over into a dunk tank, dressed like a chameleon, dressed like a poodle, whatever it is. Drag Race asks you to do all these outlandish things, and so I was eager to take on those challenges. Nothing about the experience made me anxious or afraid. It truly was a gift to be able to come in and say, how do I level up my own creativity when it comes to these challenges?
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much,
excited to see.
That was cool. This is my kind of queen. This is my kind of queen, Greg. Fully, 100%.
And in fact, I was remembering while she was talking about her look, she was giving 100% Magnetica from Drag Race France. You would love this purple look. The whole mug was very similar to that if you look at it online. She is super creative, and I'm hoping she can last a long time because I feel like she'll bring a lot to the competition.
Yeah. The one thing about the MTQ, they also ask about what their signature smell was multiple times, which I thought was interesting. And so I did think it was kind of odd that like when she was asked about it, she's like, I smell like mozzarella sticks, which I'm like, you know what, probably so real. But I thought it was dope. I thought it was cool. But yeah, big fan of her out the gate. I'm curious to see how it goes.
Same. Up next, if we're going in alphabetical order, Evan, is LA's own Darlene Mitchell, who wasn't always known as Darlene Mitchell. Back in the day, she was known as Trash Queen. First of all, what did you think of Darlene's look, and what did you think of her Meet the Queens?
So overall, let me get through one thing after the other first. So I will say about her Meet the Queens, I thought she was interesting. She talked about how she had no sublam. She talked about the first song that she ever performed to was S&M by Rihanna, which, if you're going to be a drag queen, if that's what you want to do, that is, I think, a fantastic first one to go out of. It's like, her face, I don't know what it is. Like, a couple times her face was giving me J. Jolie. Like, I can't even talk about, like, how it just kind of evoked that over there. Overall, this was a good look. I would say this probably the safest of all the looks over here. Alpha gonna be so real. But overall, like, it was still pretty solid. It was good. She had a nice presence, I know she's a hairstylist by day. I thought, yeah, it was I could get behind this. Like, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. What were you thinking about it? You've known about this whole retiring from LA drag thing for a while though, correct? Yeah.
Yes. So I would say that if you went to and actually I have an interview with her, we're gonna listen to in a second. But if you've been to the Abbey, if you've been to the Exposure Drag in the East Side in Los Angeles, you probably saw Trash Queen perform before the pandemic numerous times and did not realize it was Darlene Mitchell. So one of the great things about Drag Race is they're always finding new and interesting storylines. We have the mother-daughter Athena Dion and Juicy Love Dion. And also we have this storyline of a queen who completely changed their identity and sort of disappeared for a little bit and came back. And in 18 seasons of regular Drag Race, we've never had this. We've actually never, I think the closest this came to is on Drag Race Sweden. Elektra had been retired for a couple of years, but not like 5 years. It had only been a little bit. So this is really interesting. I will say just about her look, I would say, I think it's really important to realize that they're all trying to do their aesthetic for what this prompt was. This is probably the furthest from what Darlene's main aesthetic is for what the look she's doing. The wig is probably the closest to what she really wants to do with her character. And she is a character. She wants this to be a character. And she's probably the most committed out of all of the queens. So that's sort of my take. I think we might want to just listen to her interview because she's got a lot to say, I think.
Absolutely. And as she likes to say, bring back mall drag. And it's one of those things where, like, get rid of these deciders and, like, you know what? I'm on board. I really am. I think that's great. Just, it doesn't always have to be deciders. Ladies and gentlemen, Greg's interview with Darlene Mitchell. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Hi, Darlene. I'm also an LA girl. Hey. So we were here. far from home. Cold. It's so cold. It's so cold. But I have to ask you this because I know you've been on the LA scene for a decade and then you took a break. Yeah. Why did you initially stop doing drag? What made you take a break?
So I really, I became sober and I really sort of removed myself from nightlife for a bit and kind of like had to sort of like refocus, recenter, find out what was important to me and, what was sticking around. And I really kind of stopped performing as much around the LA scene, but I was still doing drag at home. My now husband, was a photographer. So me and him would still do photo shoots and everything, and then got the call to come here. So it's been a wild it's been a wild ride.
So was the sober part also why you changed, like you decided to change your name and like go into a different identity? Was that part of it, or
Yes,
was that just coincidental?
Yeah, so first couple years I used the name Trash, and I was very that girl. It was pedal to the metal. It was party, party, party. And in that moment when I wasn't quite sure, which way I wanted to go, and I became sober, I just started using my given name. And then it was like a few years of that being like, no, I'm ready to hop back in. Like I'm ready to, come up with a character, come up with a, like who am I in drag, And Darlene Mitchell just jumped right out.
Really? Oh.
Yes.
So I have to ask this though, because I think you guys live on you live in like Venice.
Venice,
Santa Monica,
yes.
Which is rare. There's not many queens.
Yes.
In Venice. So do you feel like you're an East Side girl? Are you a WeHo girl? Are you downtown? Like what part of LA do you feel like you connect with the most?
Yeah, I when I first started my drag career, it was really in WeHo a lot. Like I was one of the rotating cast members at the Abbey for their brunch show. So they're like once or twice a month. And then from there, I was really kind of everywhere. Like I was downtown a lot, like in that scene, and that's where a lot of my drag friends primarily perform is downtown.
Yeah.
There's a really awesome little show, a little hole in the wall called Exposure in Highland Park. Highly recommend. That is where Trash found her footing.
But that's so now that you've made it to Drag Race,
absolutely,
you've gone through this experience. What do you want to do next? Like, can't give away what happens on the show, but what are your goals long term with Darlene?
World domination.
Are you going to try to get Athena to get you to Mykonos? Is that like part of...
Absolutely, yeah. Darlene Mitchell Dion coming soon.
On the show itself, I gotta ask, was there one challenge that you were most afraid of, or that you were most worried about?
Maybe not one challenge specifically, but and this sounds so crazy for somebody that willingly signed up, but really the entire thing is you meet with this almost kind of cocky confidence, but there's also just this fear of whatever's going to be thrown at you, because a lot of times you don't know until right then in the moment, it's not like when you're watching at home and it's oh, next week we get this. No, it's more oh, in a couple hours we have this. So just this sort of fear and anxiety of being am I going to have what it takes to get through the rest of the day? You know what I mean? That's a little shaky.
So out of for the experience so far, and you are a drag veteran, you've seen it, you have so many people. What surprised you the most? What was harder? Was it harder to get outfits than you thought? Was it harder to prep? Was there anything that wasn't what you expected, I guess, in a way?
I guess kind of in a positive way, kind of staying true to almost the tagline, let there be light. Really this group of girls gave me so much light and confidence, and just, of course, everybody talks about the sisterhood, and everything, but girl, it is real. These relationships are going to be forever. And that was kind of shocking. I was expecting to come in and just kind of bulldoze everybody. And I'm oh my God, these are my best friends now. I don't know what to do.
So I don't want to get you in trouble, but I have to ask. So Zara Larsson was announced as,
yes.
And as a guest judge today, and I literally already had 3 friends be do you think Midnight Sun is Olympic? Is it possible, or should they lower their expectations?
Hey, you will have to tune in Fridays, starting January 2nd on MTV, Diva.
Okay.
A professional media professional. That's all I can
Yes.
say. I love that. I love that so much. Good on her. Her energy, I must say, was probably infectious at the moment.
You know what I have to say? If you talk to the queen to a person, they all love Darlene. She is probably the one that they always kept saying she has so much joy. She brought so much joy into the room. And I'm hoping that translates on television for her and her career. But you meet her and she's just insanely upbeat. There's nothing negative about her. And I just want to reiterate, she's been doing drag for a long time. She is going to surprise people. I think people are seeing this character she's created and think that she's doing sort of chunky, Ross drag. And it's just the character. She knows what she's doing. And I would just reiterate to people to not underestimate Darlene Mitchell.
Now, can we underestimate Didi Fuego? That's the real question.
Oh boy. Didi Fuego. I will say I did not have a chance to talk to Didi Fuego.
Okay.
I did I listen, we don't talk very often about other podcasts, but Acid Betty and Daya were talking about Didi on their Meet the Queens that I was listening to this week. And Daya has worked with Didi. Didi's been around for a long time. I think someone in the New York scene basically said to me like she basically bulldozed her way finally on to the show. She has hosted our Drag Race viewing parties. She's been a Fire Island queen. She's a Hell's Kitchen queen. I don't. I mean, I don't know if her aesthetic and is heightened enough to go far. But that's just my take. What did you think of the Meet the Queens with Dee Dee and of her look for the
Uh,
promos?
First off, she's 37. I could not tell that off the gate. I'll be honest about that too. But she is Mexican American. She's from NYC. She speaks Spanish. She makes most of her looks. She briefly thought about calling her fans the Fueguitos, which was a fascinating little moment. I guess she is a little bit better known as a designer than I thought. I didn't realize she made Lemon's entrance look
Yeah.
for Canada's Drag Race Episode 1, Season 1, which is wild. And she made a couple other looks for her as well. But overall, I was like, she struck me as interesting. She maybe came off maybe a little bit not as like personable as I thought she was going to.
Mm.
But overall, like intriguing enough. Didn't leave a huge impression, if I got to be so real with you.
I think the weird thing about her promo to me is this doesn't feel indicative of her drag. It's almost like a wedding dress type look. It's a beautifully stoned bodice.
Hmm.
But if you go and you look through her Insta, this is not really her aesthetic at all from the wig down. But I think it's a beautiful look. But I feel like promo, we've talked, so many queens talk about this, is like when you do your promo, you have to know that this look is going to be used for years on end by clubs and bars, like to promote you.
Hmm.
And there will be a big disconnect when Dee Dee comes out to do a number and this has been the promo on the flyer or like the Insta page. So I'm really curious about how that goes down the road. But I wish her well. I wish her well, Evan.
Absolutely. Now, Greg, we need to actually get a little bit serious here to talk about this next
Yeah.
queen that's coming up here. So, and I say this because there was an article that ran by them, a publication I think is pretty well respected within the queer community, this past week, talking about, hey, there's rumors of a disqualification
Oh,
of Drag Race. What happened? So the thing is that Discord Addams, I think, is going to has had one of the more difficult jobs in this entire thing
yeah.
because I heard about this even before it happened that there was some sort of a disqualification that happened over here. She has, for the record, and before even any of this had happened, has gone on podcasts, has done the social media thing to talk about like, what are you talking about? I'm still here. If there was a disqualification, do you really think that she would be in New York doing promo for this upcoming season? Like, it's one of those things that's kind of crazy about it. And it kind of sucks because, as you see with the Meet the Queens and everything else like that, her aesthetic is so much more beyond whatever any of these rumors were. Because what is she, Greg? She's a punk rocker. She's a little bit more kind of an edgy girl. And she'd already appeared in, like, World of Wonders, like, Couples for Cash series back in 2016. She's been around
Hmm.
for a while. And their partner was, I guess, Gidget Von Adams.
Yep.
And she's 35. She's out of Florida. Of all the looks on the promo, by the way, my goodness, this elaborate jewel gold drenched thing that she had on was fantastic. And especially when you look at the number of tattoos that she has and how they kind of like interplay with each other a little bit. I thought it was pretty cool. I think in her MTQ, she talked about if I was a transformer that was also a church, which I think is one of my favorite things of all time. But yeah, and the first song she ever performed to in drag was Teeth by Lady Gaga, which for those who know, choice song overall. But that was just kind of my impressions. I overall got like a pretty good impression off of her. Greg, let's dive into it. What do you want to say about Discord Adams?
So first off, she's actually the longest interview that I had,
Hmm.
and she was very, very candid. And so we're gonna we Evan and I decided we're gonna play that at the end of the Meet the Queens because it is a little longer and it's absolutely no disrespect to Discord. We want you to listen to it, but we don't
Yes,
want it to really break up the rhythm of
the
this.
flow state.
But yeah,
Yeah.
the flow because it's a really long interview, but she is super honest about everything that has happened to her. And I have so much compassion for her because she came out of oh my God, what's it called when they put you in the hotel and they put them under I'm forgetting the
Oh,
word.
quarantine?
Quarantine, or
Yeah.
not quarantine,
Yeah.
but they take away their social media
Yeah. And
and
their
their
phones, they
connection.
don't have any
Yes.
way to do contact outside
They have
world.
no way to
Exactly. Yeah.
contact anyone. And she came out of the show and found out that all these rumors that were completely false about her were everywhere. And
Hmm.
and I have so much sympathy because it is so hard to realize how are you going to tackle this? By the way, she was not allowed to say anything until the Meet the Queens
Cast
came out.
announcement. Yeah,
So for months
exactly.
on end, she's being dragged in the mud on Reddit and on Twitter and on all these sites, and she can't say anything.
Right.
And so I feel horrible because she's already starting from some hardcore, basically really only from hardcore fans, like
Hmm.
with a arm tied behind her back of having to prove who she is and that this was bullshit.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so I Discord, if you're listening, I'm a fan. I had the best time talking to her. I think she is super fucking cool. Also met her husband, Gidget Von Adams, who made, by the way, this incredible look and was also at the
Hmm.
party. Then they are the nicest, down to earth, cool. Like they're just, it's almost like the more you talk to her, the more like you wouldn't want this to happen to anyone, but like for all people this to happen to them. And I think when you listen to Discord talk about it, you'll really understand. And also her drag sisters love her. Like they like her. Like they're
Hmm.
all friends. There's no bad blood. Like nothing happened. So and again, you mentioned them. That was a little shady. Like that was an Insta clickbait post.
Yeah.
It was already out there, and she has talked about this also with Joey Adams, Joey No Feet, because when they recorded those interviews, she knew it was the first thing that was going to come out that she could at least state her case. By the way, those were
Hmm.
recorded months ago. She's been waiting for all this to come out. But I do want to talk about her drag. She is the only one, as you said, who is giving a sort of punk rock, sort of alternative drag aesthetic. And I think it will be very welcome and it's a very good casting mix compared to all the other queens that they have this season. Also, she does live in Florida, but she doesn't really claim St. Petersburg, as her hometown. She's lived in Ohio, she's lived in Chicago. She is a cosmopolitan queen, I guess. Like she has an aesthetic that's from all over the place. But I would just say when we get to the end, please listen to her interview. I think that it's very forthcoming and very informative. But I'm rooting for your Discord. And I'm hoping for the best on Drag Race and in the future.
Absolutely. 100%. So we'll get to that in just a moment. But until then, we do also have Jane Don't. And I hate this name. I'm so sorry. It's like
No, it's
she's such
okay.
a fun queen, and I don't like this.
I
Go ahead.
I have to tell you, dude, out of all the interviews I did,
Yeah.
uh, I adore Jane Doe. She
Yeah.
is a good time girl. She is down to earth and smart and fun, and you'll hear it in the interview. She's just like you just want to hang and chill with her. But
Hmm.
let's talk about her Meet the Queens in this look.
Yes.
I I I love the idea of this look. I don't know if I love. So basically, if you're looking at it, she's doing the warrior thing that many of the queens have been
Hmm.
doing, and I don't know if I love the wing off the hip.
The
It's
one wing.
the
The
one wing.
one wing.
It's
Sephiroth. Yeah.
it's just that it looks heavy and it's dragging it down, and it might just be the photo. Maybe if she was walking, it would seem, or if she was standing, it would feel a little, uh, it would work a little
Hmm.
bit more. I do love the bodice, and I love the hair, and I love the scepter and her mug, especially all their mugs are photoshopped in the Meet the Queens. It doesn't really
Hmm.
matter, but she looks fantastic, in that respect. But it's the wing thing. What did you think of her Meet the Queens in this particular look?
Well, listen, your drag sisters are Irene the Alien and Bosco, you're doing pretty good for yourself. Like, you're in a very rare lineage over here. Again, what you said about the look, I agree. I wish it was a little bit more fine. Like, it was a good idea. I love the staff. It just felt a little bit discordant. But she is also one of our over 30 queens. Love that. Absolutely. There's a lot of them in the cast. Love that. Overall, she talked about how she's a lawyer by day. Love that, genuinely, to be able to do that and then immediately go there. She also talked about how she was in the last season 16, she was frequently tagged in comments directed towards Plain Jane. A lot of people would just accidentally tag her, so she saw a lot of that stuff. So she's seen all the underbelly of the Drag Race fandom already for real. Big fan of perfume. And again, a lot of outside of are going to do your big one this season? A lot of people asked about smells, and she was happy to talk about all her different formulations and different things that she had in order to get the perfect aesthetic for her whole thing. So overall, I liked it though. But yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's so weird that smell thing and perfume thing is like
Yeah.
a constant thing because I was around about 40 drag queens on Monday night. And
Yes.
I don't remember smelling anything. Like it was a big room, but I was up pretty close and I don't remember any
Yeah.
overpowering like perfume. But anyway, keep going. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh yeah. But otherwise, yeah, no. Overall, I first being the next to Bosco and Irene, I was thinking that she was going to be maybe a little bit wittier than how it came off at Meet the Queens. But then again, that's me talking about that during one thing, and me having a one-on-one sit-down interview with her, as you did on Monday. That's a different story altogether, baby.
Let's please play it because
Absolutely.
Jane, if you're listening, I'm a fangirl.
Some of your fellow contestants.
Whatever. They're wimps.
They're wimps.
Grow up.
Tell me, how many times did you apply to get on the show? What made you think this audition tape was the one that got you through?
I applied. This is my fourth time.
Okay.
And to be honest, I actually thought my season 17 tape was a little bit better. I think the difference was that this time around, I wasn't overthinking it. And the girls always say that. That's so cliche. But it is true. Like, I just was very like, don't let perfect be the enemy of the good. Just like, get it down, get it down on wax and like, let's keep it moving.
It was funny. I was talking to Discord because one of the things that I thought was really funny about the trailer that came out was how many queens are over 30 and all these hands like...
I know we're old.
No, but it's refreshing. My friends are going to be super excited.
Totally.
Like that it's not just 22-year-olds. No offense.
Yeah, no.
But
I'm
when
right there with you.
when you came into the room, when you realized that it was maybe slightly older past...
I'm a tour season.
Was that a relief at all? Was it exciting? Did it...
Oh my God. It was such a relief. One of my biggest fears going into all of this, more than like a challenge or whatever, Michelle being mean to me, was like being stuck in a room with like 14 other like 22-year-olds. Like, not other 22, 14 22-year-olds. I am not 22.
Yeah.
I love it. We had like we could talk about stuff for real. We all have lives. We all have like interests. Like people, we've all been doing this for a while too. So the approach to drag was just very professional. Production was like, you're one of the nicest casts we've ever had, because I think we weren't like, I'm not a scared 24-year-old that none of us are gonna have a meltdown because we can't do something. Like we do this is our job and we've been doing it. So everybody just was very it was very pro, very on it, and that was lovely.
But you hadn't been on or had you done any reality TV before? Had you done television production, or was that a new world for you?
I was on the 10 o'clock news when I was 14 because there was a blizzard in my hometown. So the IMDb credits should reflect that. Please, if you can update that would be great. No, I'd never done anything like this.
Was that nerve-wracking at all, or was it easier than you thought?
To be honest, I think in the moment, I didn't really think too much about it. I feel like I'm going to watch the episodes and I'm going to feel more... we watched the trailer and I was like, they were recording us that whole time? Like, that's how it felt. I just kind of forgot that there were cameras there, which, we'll see if that comes back to bite me in the ass, but...
I have to ask you about this look. It's
thank
stunning.
you.
Did you make it yourself? Did a designer, a friend?
My friend and I designed this together. My friend Lucy Lips, shout out. And it was made by a designer in Houston named Ruben Asaza. And
I keep saying that it's just the inspiration was just like I wanted to dress like a flower, which is true. But it was also I've been really into these like Galliano for Dior collections that like 2000, I think it's like spring summer 2007 or 2008, one of them. And there's all these like crazy neons with like sort of like kabuki makeup and stuff, and I was just really in that world color-wise.
So wait, are you going to surprise viewers? Are you a fashionista? Are there going to be
Is that a surprise? That feels shady. Is that
No.
People are like, this bitch can't know. No, yeah, I love fashion. Can I be honest? I think I might be the most knowledgeable about fashion. About actual fashion, I think I might be the most knowledgeable about anybody on the scene, more than anybody on the scene.
So when you're doing their package, there must have been 2 or 3 looks you're like, I love these so much. These need to be on the runway. Were there?
Oh, yeah.
Did they? Assuming they made it, was there anything you're super excited for, see, without spoiling it, that you are super excited that fans will get to see?
To be honest, I'm really excited about everything that I presented for the most part. I think, like hindsight's 2020, and when you're getting ready for Drag Race, it's fast. So there's things that like, if I had more time or something, I may have made like slightly different decisions. But I think overall, I'm really proud of like the body of work that I presented, and I'm excited to see the runways.
So what I really want to know is, there's been so many great Seattle queens that have come, obviously.
Allegedly.
What does a Jane Don't show bring that Bosco or Arietti or Jinx? How is your drag different than your sisters?
I think that I am Jinx and Dela are sort of a different generation. That was I mean, they are. It's Seattle drag has changed kind of significantly since then, and they're old fucks. And so I think that I come from. They started really burlesque heavy in like burlesque places, and I started in like at the Weirdo Bar. I used to perform in this club under the freeway. On a little stage.
Wait, what was the name of it?
It's called Creme Work.
Is it still there?
Yeah. It's kind of like a Berghain kind of like German-esque like techno club.
Oh, sweet.
We used to do the show, and then afterwards the techno show would the later techno show would happen. So you'd be like finishing the show, and the bitchy like straight guy DJs would be like standing backstage like tapping their feet because they have to like what I mean they gotta go play like Dahul or whatever. And so I think that I always say I love the storyline of the diva storyline, the woman who makes her way in the castle and still fears the sentries. You know what I mean? The Bette Midler of it all, the like coming from the underground and sort of like polishing the edges enough that you can like Trojan horse your way into sort of a mainstream space.
A little chaperone, like
a little chaperone. Yeah, I think it's like RuPaul. That's RuPaul's whole arc.
Absolutely. In one word, just to describe the experience so far
of Drag Race or tonight or of Drag Race. This is spectacular. I don't know. Not to be earnest at the clown show. You know what I mean?
No, that's amazing.
Yeah,
it's so great.
So Evan, did your take on Jane Don't change after having listened to that interview?
Not especially, no, but I mean, she's still a delight. Overall, she has such a good energy. I think she'll be really fun. I feel like, I'm not sure what role she's going to fill this season. It's the kind of thing where, I feel like she would be Hormona Lisa, but more talented. And I mean that not, as a dig. It's just, someone that is funny, that is upbeat, that is relatively uplifting. I'm just kind of curious to see how it's going to work out. But then again, it all matters about dynamics. Challenges are one thing, but I think this already feels like a good cast, to be honest. I feel like, I also feel like after the doldrums of season 13 and season 14, I feel like the show, season 15, season 16, and yeah, I'd say even season 17 have been on a kind of a gradual uplift. I'm not sure if you felt this as well, but it just feels like it's just something about the casting. They know this is the mainline franchise. It's just been fun. And so, yeah, I feel like there are good vibes off of this cast as well.
Yeah, I think I was going to say, one of the things that I took away from speaking to the queens I spoke to, and granted, I did not have time to speak to all of them, is because so many of them are over 29 and 30, there's this relaxed confidence about them that when they are doing interviews, they're talking to you, they don't feel like they have to be this forced character. If you listen to that interview with Jane, it's just like talking to anybody else. And by the way, when you meet a young actor or a young pop star, they're also sometimes very they're either too unfiltered or they're too like I don't know what to I'm going to watch every single thing I say. And so many of these queens are just like, yeah, just shooting the shit. And I have to be honest, like I have not gotten that from a lot of queens that I've spoken to who are significantly younger over the past couple years doing interviews for the show. And
Hmm.
I in fact I remember when I did interviews for season 14, like Jackie Cox popped because she was one of the only ones who was like, actually, that was 12. Like, that she was
Yeah,
the
that was
only
12.
one,
Yeah.
she was one of the only ones who was like, just shooting the shit, like, didn't care. Like, it was all like, it's just all
Hmm.
fun and get, and she had made it super far. Like, she had nothing to, like, hide or whatever. But so anyway, I'm really curious to see how the queens, in the context of the show, if that translates at all. But what will translate up next, Evan. This is my girl. This queen. Y'all not ready. You're
Y'all not
not.
ready.
Juicy Love Dion. If you thought Georges was a star, if you thought um uh oh my God, why am I forgetting her name? She lost to Sasha Colby.
Oh,
Um
oh my God.
from Vegas. How
AT,
Oh, Anitra. If you
Anitra,
thought
thank you.
Anitra was a star, you are gonna pay that $15 and $20 when Juicy comes to your city, and she's gonna freaking blow you away. She's one of the greatest performers already I've ever seen. And you know how you know this, Evan? You
What?
go to her freaking Insta page and look at all of the alumni from all over the world who follow her and have commented, and they literally write the same thing. They all aren't ready. They know. She's already a winner to them, no matter what
Hmm.
happens, and that is
Hmm.
super rare. Um,
Hmm.
but let's first talk about her Meet the Queens in this look. What did you think of her Meet the Queens and of this look, Evan?
Before anything else, she had the most important thing to say out of any of the queens, I think. She is down, she's done with the mono booty. She talked about how she hates how queens will have a butt and there's no indent in the butt, and it's important to have that indent in the butt whenever they're padding. It's such a small thing, but like,
It
yes,
is.
I agree fully. I thought it was a fantastic thing to highlight. She had a lot of personality. She was a lot of fun, but also, Greg, I've already been spoiled a little bit because I remember her on the last terrible season of So You Think You Can Dance. She was a competitor, and admittedly, it was a lot of like tricks and flips, but again, that's kind of what they're fucking looking for on So You Think You Can Fucking Dance. This was the JoJo Siwa judge season, by the way, and
Mm.
unfortunately, we didn't get to see much of her outside of her audition because they just went to the next round and there wasn't like clean elimination. She just was eliminated. But my God, she looked so effing good. She was just incredible. Her clips were starting to go around and viral, but also Greg has shared with me clips of Juicy performing at Jackie O's before, and she is just a magnifique. Like, again, there's queens who could do like dancing and could do stunts, but then there are those who capture your attention,
Hmm.
and she captures your attention. The look overall was very good. I love this giant circular kind of like angelic kind of highlight holy piece that's around her head. I love it when queens do that. It's an easy look to fuck up, and she did not fuck it up. But overall, she just looked glistened. She looked incredible. Like I was just such a fan out the gate. Yeah, what were your thoughts on the look?
Well, I think what's really important to especially our listeners, especially if
Uh-huh.
you're a fan of international drag, is Juicy's entire package is by the one and only Kelly Rochard of Rochard Designs of Drag Race Italia, who literally I met at the season 18 party. By the way,
Had you not met them before?
Kelly Rochard from Italy?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
Oh,
No,
I wasn't sure. Yeah.
no, no. And he they so the outfit that Juicy wore for season 18, he literally flew in from Milan so that she could
Damn.
have it for the runway.
Damn.
Um, we talk about it in the interviews, but Juicy may be 24, but going and working in Europe for 3 summers has taught her a hell of a lot and it has informed her worldview. And if you love international drag, Juicy's gonna bring a little bit of that energy, especially in her runways. And in fact, she got voted on this EW thing that they just did as having the best runway package of the season.
Damn.
Also, and if you're unaware, Kelly does all of Nikki Doll's looks for Drag Race France. They collaborate on them together. So I would just say get ready for Juicy. I feel like we can't hype her enough. The show will not. Trust me, they're gonna hype her like crazy. You'll see. But we should just listen to this interview because I had a blast catching up with her.
Done. Settled. Let's do it.
But I have
Let's
to
speak
ask.
to her.
Yes,
First of all, I know that I had heard your dream was so you think you could dance.
yes.
And then I saw your interview with Joey, and it seemed like the experience wasn't necessarily what you'd hoped it would be, or was it fulfilling still?
It was still fulfilling, even just being in those doors and being able to just audition and get the critiques from the judges in itself it's the dream come true. You know what I mean? Obviously, being in the top 10 was the goal, but what I got out of it was more valuable than being in the top 10, and that's discovering that my true passion and my true art form, and when everything aligns in my body and when all the chakras are connected, it's when I'm in drag, it's when I'm juicy, and it's when I'm here. Because if in the Joey No-Fee interview I say that the second day I didn't show up in drag, I was out of drag if you watch the show. So in that, my confidence wasn't the same out of drag as it was in drag. It's a whole personal conflict thing that I had to learn about myself.
And I get it, but having done that experience, did you feel it gave you a leg up to sort of just step onto a televised reality world like Drag Race? Did you feel like you already had at least some little experience to help you through the...
Yeah, 1000%. I was not so nervous to be in front of cameras, but nothing can really prepare you for the craziness and the chaos that is Drag Race. I've never felt my heartbeat in my ears before. And when they say pressure cooker, it's like actual pressure. It's like physical. Your body is feeling this pressure, and you don't know where it's coming from. But it's like a really crazy experience, and I would 1000% do it again.
Well, wait, but so I have to, because you've performed 3 times, 4 shows a night. You've done in Miami and in Mykonos. You've been in front of celebrities that have come and watched.
Yes.
But you were still, the experience was still that nerve-wracking.
1000%. I mean, even when I do all those gigs and when I do all those things, I still get nervous, and I still get the sweats, or my palms get weak, or I feel cold, but it's all because I care. I care about my performance. I care about doing a good job. I care about presenting something that's well and to the utmost caliber. You know what I mean? So if I was not nervous, that's a problem, because then that means I'm not worried about succeeding or surpassing myself. You know what I mean?
So I have to ask, because first of all, this is audio, but your look, can you say who designed this? Or
Yes, of course. This is my designer. He designed everything for me for the season. So every single look that you're going to see is from him, his hands, his creation. His name is his drag name is Kelly Rocha.
Rocha Italia.
Yes,
of course.
But Rocha Design, he does everything for Nikki Doll. He is absolutely, utterly amazing. He flew in from Italy to drop this off for me. He's going to be here tonight. He's my plus one.
Okay. If
He's not here yet.
All right. I need to find him if he's
Yes.
here. My part-time thing is I cover Drag Race. I cover awards. I cover Oscars. That's my main job. But also we have a podcast just about international Drag Race. We cover all the international scenes.
Absolutely. So you would know all the people he's worked with. He's done stuff for everybody. Lena Galore, La Petite Noire from France, Italy girl. La Riche, Electro Bionic, all of them. La Diamond. I know all of them. I know all of them. I'm a big fan.
So I have to ask about that though. So you might not have known about them if you'd never gone to Mykonos. Maybe you would have. What did that experience teach you just about drag in general, or did it change your aesthetic at all, being around those queens?
Absolutely, great question, because I honestly, I give a lot of credit to Mykonos for changing my life. It opened my eyes to there being a possibility of things in the world for me to do, not just what's limited in Miami or what's limited in America, where it's just a top 40 kikirika brunch number, you know what I mean? Yeah. In Europe, I learned that they really value the art. They really want to see the artistry, the technique. They really want to see what I can do creatively. They don't care about the stunts. They may be impressed once or twice, but then they're like, okay, what else? What else can you do? You know what I mean? So it definitely opened my eyes. And it really, I leaned into it, you know what I mean? I took a lot of inspiration from the Italians, the French, the Greeks, all of them, you know? I'm nothing but a citizen of the world now, so
even as a citizen, I listen. I know you won't. You, everyone and their mother's gonna want to see you in their city. Is there somewhere you really want to go that you haven't gone yet that you want to perform?
Oh my God. Like, luckily, I've had the blessing of being able to travel to all the places that have been on my bucket list, like Paris and London, Madrid, all these places. So of course, there's a million. Of course. Oh my God, what am I saying? Tokyo, anywhere in Asia. I want to go to Seoul. I want to go to South Korea, Tokyo, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Singapore. I want to do all Philippines. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
I want to visit the East. I really, really want to spread my wings eastward. I follow some girls from Thailand too. They're really fierce over there. So I want to check out the scene.
That's amazing. Okay. I
So Obar, right? Obar.
Yes.
We gotta see her at
Listen,
Obar.
listen. If you are one of our fans who listened to our coverage of Drag Race Philippines, you need to call up Obar and get them to book Juicy Love Dion because she will get on a plane and head over there. She will kill it. Would you not love to see Kiana and Juicy Love Dion do a number together?
I would die. I would literally die. It
Yes.
would be absolutely incredible. But yeah, she just comes off. She's. I mean, again, she's had a little bit more media training than I think some of the other queens over here, but she is ready to go. I'm ready to stand from day one. I'm down. I'm so down. I'm just so down, Greg.
So,
Thank you so much. Yeah.
oh my gosh, of course. And Evan, another queen that many queens are excited to stand. And by the way, also slightly petite, not as she's big girl, but not as tall as you
Hmm.
think, is the one and only Kenya Pleaser.
Hmm.
What did you think of Miss Kenya Pleaser in this gorgeous chocolate outfit?
She was extraordinary. She was so effing great. She came off so goddamn good in the interview and everything. Like I thought the outfit was solid. I thought it was lovely. I thought it had lovely flow and texture to it. But like she just had the biggest personality out of everyone. She described her voice as being Barry White mixed with Lizzo, which I thought was aces. And also like she's from South Carolina. She was just delightful. I everything about Kenya Pleaser I just loved out the gate. Low key, she kind of reminded me of like Latrice a little bit in the sense where she was just out there and just unafraid to just be herself fully. And I think sometimes like you see that false confidence with some queens that come in here like, I'm the baddest bitch in the room, whatever. And then they come in and then they are absolutely not. Or they just, fold under. I did not get that sense with Kenya. I get the sense with Kenya that she is going to just be delightful. I guess she does impersonate Lizzo too on top of it. So I thought she was ready to go. She was also one of the queens who opened for a Chapel Rowan during her Midwest Princess tour. So she has some experience there. What was your take of Kenya? Because I'm already on board.
I'm already on board. She just seems fun and charismatic and not there's really only one queen that's sort of super negative. But which we will not mention, but she just seems like again, I feel like I say this for a bunch of them, like a good time gal. Like you just want to hang out with them, and it's probably really good casting on
Hmm.
WoW and Paramount's part. But I'm super excited for it, and I just wanted to sort of reiterate because it came up actually at the season 18 event. Is so just a guess. We haven't gone through the whole cast. Who do you think's the tallest out of heels in this cast?
Oh God, would it be Mia Starr? Am I wrong about that?
Mm-mm.
No, I am wrong. Who is it?
Randomly, it's Darlene Mitchell,
Oh,
who's only like maybe 6 feet and a half. Or it is
okay. She's like
this
as
is
tall as you
a
and me. Yeah.
right. So here's the thing. People might look at Juicy and think she's like the short. She's not even the shortest person in the cast. Like this is sort of a short cast. Like, and it's weird because usually they're either all over the place or like like
Hmm.
there's always the legend of season 8 where they're like five of them are like 6 feet and taller. But just a heads up, this is not a. They're not tall. There are a lot of stripper heel to make them look taller than they are when you look at fit photos. So just a quick heads up, because when I saw the Meet the Queens for Kenya, I was like, oh, she must be like 6 feet, 6'1". No, 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 no. So it'll be very interesting as the season goes on. But I did love Kenya. I thought she was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Up next, we have Mandy Mango. And she is an interesting story too. She's based out of Philadelphia, from my understanding. She's 29, might as well be honorary 30. Let's be real at this point.
Yeah.
She is Filipino American. And overall, I thought her look was Interesting. I'm not sure if I love this look, I gotta be honest. Like the backing of the outfit does more, but my fucking God, this wig, I love this wig. I love everything about this wig. I love this crown-shaped wig with all these little accoutrements in there. Huge fan of the wig. Giant fan of the wig. Uh oh, go ahead.
I love the wig. I don't know if it went with the outfit. Like it's all black, and she doesn't have enough
Mm-hmm.
black in the rest of the outfit. So I was a
Mm-hmm.
little like, but I love the wig because it's this hair thing. I thought that was super cool. I think in hindsight, maybe she would have, I don't, maybe put more black into the look, but they wanted it to be a color scheme. Like I get it.
Yeah.
It is a little messy. Like, and also, why is there blue in the back? Like, it's a weird. I
Yeah, a
will
couple
say.
aesthetic choices, yeah.
And she would know. Acid thinks that Mandy is going to be one of those queens that give her a year, that her mug is going to be plastique level. That she is going to look, that she can already tell now by what her skills are, that by the
Mm-hmm.
time she gets through going around, traveling, hanging, she will be a morphine sort of plastique kimchi, I guess, in a way, like mug queen. So I'm really curious if that works out. Um, I really liked her meet. I thought she was funny in her Meet the Queens. I thought she was really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super curious how she does in the competition. The one thing that was given away was in that EW thing, that one of the EW pieces that just came out, was that she has a look on the runway that no one will expect, and potentially not the most positive way. So that it's an iconic down the line of like a La La Ree or
I see, I see, I see.
yes.
Yes, 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 yes.
So I'm a little
Okay.
curious. I'm a little curious,
Yeah.
but I'm rooting for her. Anything else on
Yeah.
Mandy Mango?
She hates oranges. She's never had an orange able to open an orange before. She prefers mangoes. She's a registered nurse. Lots of great biographical details. Don't know much about her drag aesthetic already, but I'm super curious. So we will see.
Super
We'll see.
curious. We'll see.
Yeah.
Up next, and I am super excited about this queen,
Oh my God.
Nini Coco from Denver, Colorado. Wait, did I
Are we
pick the wrong?
skipping? Are we
Oh, did I
skipping over a
skip?
few queens?
Who did I?
Because the next
So,
I have Mia Star.
oh my gosh, alphabetically, I'm so sorry. Nia, we will get you, but Mia Star. Evan, what did you think of Mia Star?
So all I could say is that I knew about her because, for the record, obviously, we have recorded this about 2 weeks afterwards before. I'm glad we waited because getting these interviews has been an extraordinary gift, and I cannot thank Greg enough for taking his time to fly out exclusively to do this for Worldwide Tea and no other publication. But most critically, I knew about Mia Star because the edits started coming out on my TikTok almost immediately because Mia Star has been around, everybody. Mia Star has
Mm.
been a backup dancer for giant superstar singer. She was the male lead in the video for Havana by Camila Cabello featuring Young Thug. Like she's been around, she's been on the professional dancer circuit for a while, so she has connections. She has been in the industry. I don't think she's very intimidated. She's not going to be intimidated by a whole lot. Is all I could say. Britney Spears, Shakira, Rihanna to be the backup dancer for those level of dancers. That's a whole deal. However, being a backup dancer and being a drag queen are two very completely aesthetics. And we've seen that happen before of some people just like, I've been around the world, but then they're like terrible drag queens. And then we have like in Drag Race España season 4, Maggie Yellow, who's like, I'm a pit crew member who's trying out drag and then kills it and is like doing a really good job at it. I guess she was also in America's Best Dance Crew. She
Hmm.
went into the blind casting for The Voice. Like she's been all over the place. And she's also been a producer and choreographer. Like she knows her stuff. So with that said, she described how she's very hood. She even mentioned how she put out a gospel album in 2018. Like she's just a wild career. She's had a career already before coming here. Instead of kick-starting her career, she's in the middle of her career, and I think it's just kind of awesome. I also like that when asked about her signature scent, she said it was from Bath and Body Works, which is wild. But overall, like I liked her. She seemed very, very fun to go with. My God, by the way, her outfit, which has kind of like these hoops and these drapes, and then she has these like little lacy things coming up her legs. You could tell she's a dancer because Jesus Christ, that's not padding, Greg. Those fucking thighs are what those are watermelon crushing. Go ahead, say what you need to say. Say what you
No,
need to
no,
say.
there's padding there. There's
There's
definitely
padding.
padding.
I mean,
But
it's
she
still
does have
gigantic.
no, she has gigantic legs, but there's
Yeah,
padding to it. Um,
yeah.
so here's my thing on Mia. I
Okay.
love this look.
Uh huh.
Uh, there is a big disconnect between this look and what Maya is serving in her regular drag.
Okay.
Even when I saw her at the season 18 event. And you see it also in her interviews she's done for other publications, especially during this press tour they just did in New York. I like Mia. I'm not sure Mia is super charismatic, like as
Hmm.
just a talking head. Her drag scares me a little bit. She keeps going back to this really terrible red wig. Her makeup is not always as good as you think it would be. I actually am slightly worried that she may not have the resources to pull off the runway that's necessary. It's just a gut instinct, for the show. But I think, as we know, she's an incredible dancer. She's a choreographer. Any of those challenges, she's gonna freaking slay it. Um, but I'm a little worried. From her interviews, I have not thought she was like super, super charismatic. And you have to be to get far. I mean, who's the last US top four who wasn't super charismatic? Like I'm trying to like think off the top. I can't think of one off the top of my head. So you have to be. It's in other international
Jomber's
franchises.
blonde.
No, but that's UK.
I
I just
know.
mean
I
you.
just
Yeah,
that's just
but
like,
like, I mean, yeah. It's so I'm super curious. We'll see.
yeah.
But I her story is amazing. Like she's like 10 years from now, like a doc. Like she did
Hmm.
this, she did that, whatever. Like,
100%. 100%. Absolutely.
yeah, I'm really curious about her.
Yeah. Well, up next we have, and this will be one I will get the mispronunciation on this. This is Mikey Meeks or Meeky Meeks.
I keep having the same
Okay.
issue, dude. I think it's Mikey. I don't think it's Miki.
Myki.
I know, but
Yeah.
she's
Okay.
but it is going to be an issue because I think people are going to think it's supposed to be Mikey, like like as yeah. But I think
Greg, can I briefly tell you? I need to briefly tell you this. I
yes.
have had friends who are like, wait a second, her name is Selects Addiction. I was listening to the podcast because I can't watch the show. I thought she was Skrillex the whole time. So
No!
I want you to know your influence has
Oh my God.
expanded.
I am going to set foot out of Heathrow Airport and Select Addiction is gonna have like a literally like assassin like to take me out. Damn.
I'm just saying, just putting that out there. But most importantly, Mikey, overall, I got the biggest Lydia B. Collins energy off of her. Like
Ah.
not the same, but like she definitely has this kind of like mysterious weirdo queen energy. For the record, of all the looks, I think I loved her look the best. I thought I had a little bit of an issue with the pearl boobies, because she's trying to do this clamshell pearl thing. Like the dress itself is extraordinary. I thought like the details were great. It's just the pearl boobies that almost like took me out of it. Like almost everything else is
Mm.
incredible. It's just that one element there. But overall, like I liked she was putting out there. And overall, in her Meet the Queens, she took big inspo from Sasha Colby. Good place if you're gonna do it. And she describes herself as quote a dynamic theatrical powerhouse, which I'm curious to see. What was your take on her?
So I do have an interview with her that we're gonna play, but I just want to
Hmm.
say what's really interesting is you meet her. She doesn't present this. She looks way younger than she is. She
Hmm.
looks like she's in her early 20s. She's 29. She might be 30
Hmm.
by now.
Hmm.
She is super experienced. And
Hmm.
what the other thing I love about her is she is not the stereotypical sort of mold of what you think of a Central Florida sort of queen, the Trinity the Tux, the Ginger Minges, the Roxy Andrews. And we talk
Hmm.
about that because the look she even had, which if you go and look at her Instagram or look at photos from the event, you can see it's not giving Florida drag whatsoever. It's
Hmm.
very punk. It's actually very like Bones and Kyron Thrax. It's very like London fashion. Like this, she is
Hmm.
not a queen to pigeonhole in any manner. I don't know if I love her mug in person. It looks great in this look, but if you go back and look at the interviews and Meet the Queens, like it's not for me. But I like her and she's super fucking smart. Do you have any other thoughts before we play this quick interview with her?
No, I'm just curious to see how it plays out. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's dive into it. Greg's interview with Mikey Meeks. It happened.
First of all, congratulations on getting on the show.
Yes, thank you. Which one's this for?
Oh, I'm with the playlist and also a podcast called Worldwide T. We cover mostly international seasons, but we're also trying to cover this as well because no one covers international seasons.
I know, right?
But also for the playlist, and you'll see it online.
Oh, perfect.
But I have to ask, how many times have you applied for the show?
This is my 4th time auditioning for the show. Now, the first 2 times I had no expectations of being cast. This was just to get the practice in. But this last tape, that was the one. I felt it. I really felt it.
I have to ask, I love your aesthetic. This is so cool. You're wearing these like pointy, devilish...
Yes, spiky Meeks tonight. Spiky Meeks.
Which most people who have a view of Florida drag would not think that this was necessarily a Florida aesthetic. It's like maybe like Victoria Black.
Oh, yeah, Victoria Elizabeth Black, of course, yeah.
Little Dragula. But is this your aesthetic? Are you not what people would expect from a traditional Florida queen?
Yeah, so I understand that there's a very big expectation of a lot of pageantry in drag, and I am a title holder right now. I'm a glamorous newcomer. But I do find that if we stick to one aesthetic, that it gets a little boring. I mean, this is an art form about reinventing yourself, so why can't I reinvent myself to every type of aesthetic? I like to think of myself as old Hollywood glamour and party girl. I've done a lot of glamour recently, so tonight, Club Myki's in effect.
Club Myki! So if someone were to go and see you perform, whether in Orlando or when you start touring around the country, what should they expect in a Myki show?
Well, it depends on what the show calls for. I mean, I do a lot of Charlie XCX. That's my favorite. I do an illusion of her. I have some pretty great comedy mixes if the space calls for it. But if anything, my favorite aspect of drag performance is the adrenaline that the crowd can get. So I try to think of that within the type of performance and the mixes we make.
Well, then I would give unsolicited advice when you're talking to your manager and they're booking you and you go to LA. You need to go to Precinct and get that energy from that crowd.
Okay.
So
I've been to one. I've been to Precinct.
Oh, you know what I'm talking
yes.
about. Yes. With that crowd, you would go nuts for you.
Oh, I would love. I've seen that it's a very tight stage too, which I love.
Most LA stages are like.
Well, yeah, but that's what I love, the intimate feeling.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of music and performing, I know you can't give away what the songs were, but when you got the list of all the lip sync songs, were you excited? Were you concerned? Were you?
Yes, there's a lot of great tracks on the playlist. There was one song that we were like, there is no way they're gonna make us do this one. Can't really speak too much more on that, but there's also a very
wait, because it's problematic?
No. It was like, you're kidding. Like, this is a joke. Okay. This is a joke. And then there was a really fast rap song, and that one was probably the most stressful to get down.
So we've already seen Cardi B comes into the workroom in the first episode. What were you shocked? Did you think were you expecting a celebrity guest?
Oh, yeah, of course. Celebrities everywhere. Look around. Cardi B, though, oh my gosh. One thing about Cardi B is that her aesthetic comes from the LGBT community. She got put together by her house, her ballroom house, and full of dolls. And I know her assistants are some of the dolls as well. She looked correct and a very impactful fashionista. Of course, she was meant to be in the show.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, before you went to go shoot it, was there one challenge you were most worried about that you were like, I don't want to have to deal with this, or I hope?
No, there wasn't a challenge I was like stressed about. I felt very ready. I felt this was my time. Now, the one that I think I prepared last for was the makeover.
Oh, wow.
Because it's a hard one. You don't know who you're going to get, and you never know, like, what direction you want to take it, and so that one was a little stressful to plan out.
And also, since I've not spoken to, I've only spoken to like half the queens so far.
Sure.
Is there a queen? Were there a couple queens who literally did not know how to use a sewing machine before they got there, or did this season actually have everyone know how to use one?
I'm confident to say this is the most competent sewing cast.
Really? Were you surprised?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
And last but not least, one word to describe your experience on the show so far.
Oh God, thrilling, just thrilling, surreal. Oh, I guess that's more words, but surreal. Just a dream come true. I've been saying the queen who left the show is not the same queen who entered.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Listen.
Awesome.
Damn.
Awesome. Good energy. Good energy.
One thing about Myki, she's strategic. If you listen to
Mm-hmm.
what she talks about, she had a
Mm-hmm.
plan. She plans out. Just her talking about like how she would go to like a gig and it's like what the gig needs. You don't really hear that from queens. They'll be like, "Oh, I've got this number. I do this, this, this." Like she's like going to stop and look at where she's going and pivot to what she thinks is good for that. That might help her in the long run. She's
Just
really
saying.
smart. If you listen, she's really
Mm-hmm.
smart.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got two more queens, Evan.
Yes, we do.
Uh, and I got a little ahead of myself because I think I'm so excited about her. But from Denver, Colorado, the pint-sized sparkle, Nene Coco. What did you think of Nene? And are you excited about her as I am?
What a name. All I can say is so she loves a good rhinestone. Love a queen who loves a good rhinestone. Let's be real about that. 29, again, we're not good with the 22-year-olds. Absolutely love that overall. I love that her first song that she performed to in drag, allegedly, was Aura by Lady Gaga, which is a wild first song. Lots of Lady Gaga first timers, which I shouldn't be too
Yes.
surprised by, but also not the big hits. We're doing
Mm-mm.
Teeth, we're doing Aura. I think I'm just excited about that. Overall, she says she knows how to sew. She said she's also a chemical engineer, which I thought was really, really cool. I just had a good time with her overall. Also, I loved the spiky look on her. I really thought it was simple. It was effective. I thought it did exactly what it needed to do. Tell me what I need to know. I thought it was really fun. What did you think of this look overall? I'm curious.
I like that this look was so different than from so many of the other
Yes.
queens, and
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't even know if it was strategic. She probably didn't even know, but
Right.
it did. I think they all talked to each other when they were doing the promos. But I think it was super smart. We should also ask, she is very good friends with Patagonia, the
Hmm.
environmental queen with over 1 million followers, who will not let you forget it.
Hmm.
And I think that that will be really interesting as the season goes on. Um, she is a powerhouse, and also she already has the respect, like Juicy, from many of the other established Ru girls. They know her,
Hmm.
they've either been in Denver and performed with her, or they've heard through the grapevine that she's sort of something special. So I am super curious about how far Nini gets and what she brings to the competition. I think one other thing that's really important before we get to our last queen is to a queen. They've all talked about how for the most part, everybody's really good at everything on the season. There's
Hmm.
not
Hmm.
like a queen who's just like the singer or the comedy queen or just the dancer. That they all were sort of surprised that everybody was sort of more multifaceted, which is sort of what Myki brings up, like how she was surprised everyone can sew. Like, so I think I love that for the competition because it means that the levels may be elevated and we may not get as much crunchy, that we sometimes get with the early outs that we normally do. I'm really curious about that.
Yeah. I'm very excited about that too. And then we have one last queen, another over 30 queen, Greg. We have Vita Von Teese Star overall. Now, before we do anything else, what are your thoughts on this look?
I love the headpiece. I
The
love her
headpiece is
mug.
great.
I love the cape. I think if this was any other promo, and it wasn't this theme, that the dress would probably work. I feel like it's a little tame compared to what all the other queens are doing, just because it's not really a bodice, it's just a simple dress with a belt. But her mug is absolutely incredible. And her. I loved her interview. I'm super curious about her. She is experienced. I think she's. I'm gonna see how old she is. I think she's
She's
30.
38, according to the
Yeah, she's
thing, which I thought
38.
was
She
pretty
looks
wild. Yeah.
way younger than she is, but out of drag. But I am I think she is going to be a pageant queen who is going to surprise because
Yes.
I don't think she fits into the silky Kennedy Akira mold. I think she breaks out a little bit from that. So I'm
Hmm.
super excited about her. What did you take away from Meet the Queens?
I love a big goth emo girl for one. Absolutely love that aesthetic. Think it's the best thing in the world. Also, I will say she loves designing and sewing. She's a big fan of Tu Wong Fu, which I think is awesome. And again, I think just overall, just a good vibe, just a good aesthetic off of her. I'm not sure if I got like like a relatable energy off her,
Yeah.
but I thought she had at least explained herself very well, which I thought was kind of one of those things that you need to always look for in this thing. But yeah, overall, like I like it. I think it's one of those things. As always, like I'm getting pretty good vibes off of both these Meet the Queens, but sometimes that goes all out the window as soon as they walk in the workroom. So much more curious about it. I mean, I will say Juicy Love and I think Kenya out the gate. Mom, I think we're gonna be good. I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, I'm just curious to see how it's gonna work out with her. Yeah.
No, I totally agree. And before we get to our Discord interview, I just want to say I have 5 queens I'm excited about. Jane, Kenya. Wait, Kenya. Jane? Right.
Kenya Pleaser.
Kenya
Yeah.
Pleaser, yeah.
Yeah.
Juicy, Discord, and Vita. Those are the ones that I'm most excited about.
Yeah. I'm
But
excited.
anyway, we should play this interview, and again, please listen and listen. If you're on social media and you see any of this, people like putting out false narratives and bullshit, like, listen, we're not asking anyone to Karen, but like, feel free to push back on some of this stuff. Don't let people spread bullshit around that is like not substantiated or not true. No one has to be a social media warrior, but like, we have to protect these girls. Like, there's no one else protecting them but the fans themselves, and I just think sometimes it's necessary. But Evan, any other thoughts before we play the interview?
Before we go into this, the only thing I just want to say, and I just want to reiterate, thank you, Greg, for putting this together, for making this happen. Truly, truly, it's lovely that our fans actually get to learn about these queens directly, and I just appreciate all the effort you put into it. Truly,
Well, thank you for putting these fantastic little vids together that people will be able to see on YouTube. And I'm so excited about it. So yeah, let's play the video.
Let's do it. Discord Addams.
First of all, this look is incredible.
Oh my god, thank you so much.
Did you make it yourself? Can you give credit to the designer? Like,
Yes. So my partner, Gidget Von Addams, he made everything. The hair, the outfit, literally everything you're seeing is a piece from him, even the headpiece.
And for people who are listening, this is a stunning blue ensemble, warrior, a little jump.
Yeah, I wanted to do like Joan of Arc meets Vivienne Westwood.
Love it. First of all, how would you describe your experience so far on the show? What has it been like for you?
It's been absolutely surreal, but it's also exceeded all of my expectations. I've been wanting this for over 13 years, and for the dream to finally become reality, and for it to be an incredible experience on top of it, like, words can't describe your dreams actually, like, being real, and also being better than you even anticipated.
Also, I'm pleasantly surprised, I feel like all my friends were, that there's more queens who are over 30 on this
Oh,
cast.
thank God, right?
Did you come into the room or when you realized it, were you like, oh wait, there's maturity here?
The
or
entire
no?
time, I was like, I'm going to be the oldest bitch on the season. They were calling Lexi Love Grandma last year, so I was like, Grandma Discord's coming through. And then I looked around and I was like, oh my god, everyone's my age, everyone's been doing drag for at least 10 years. So it's like we've all been doing drag from a time where drag was the inspiration and drag race wasn't the inspiration. And that creates such a refreshing take, and it creates such a refreshing point of view from each individual contestant.
Before going in, obviously you work on your own stuff, you guys design it.
Yes.
You are an incredible makeup artist. I've seen so much of your work. What were you most concerned about in terms of challenges? Was it musical? Was it Snatch Game?
The musical challenge was 100% my biggest concern. I was like, I'm good at what I do, like in terms of dancing and moving, but like I'm not like a theatrical like choreography girl. Like I'm a punk rock diva. I'm in a rock band. So it's like having to translate what I do into full-blown musical choreography. I was like, that's going to be scary, and I was worried about it the entire time that I was preparing for the show.
Also, aren't there like 3 choreographers in the cast? Like,
The
not just
problem,
Mia?
the problem with this cast is everyone is good at everything. Usually you have like one girl who's good at this, one girl who's good. Everyone can do everything, and I was like, well, that's gonna be a fun time. But it's also really good to be able to say you're competing against the best of the best, and that's what I felt like happened here.
So I also know you've lived all over the country. You live in Chicago. I think you started out in the Midwest.
In Akron, Ohio.
Akron, Ohio,
Yes.
right. And now you're in Florida.
Yes.
I gotta ask, what made you go to Florida? It feels like not the best place someone who's queer and queen and like wants to express themselves would be. What made you want to go there and sort of stick it out?
I wanted to move there for a couple different reasons. A, I was just tired of being cold. Being cold is my least favorite feeling in the entire world. So if I can see the sun every day, I know I'm going to be happy. But also, my best friend was going through a really messy divorce, and she just needed somebody to help pay her mortgage, and I needed somewhere to go on top of wanting to not be in Chicago anymore. So it was everything kind of happened for each other at the exact right time. I needed her, she needed me, and my partner were yeah, let's go be warm. Let's go, and also go be with our best friend. So honestly, it really worked out for the best. And since we moved there, I was also able to find a drag scene that actually finally inspired me and helped me to feel like I didn't want to quit drag anymore. There are incredible, nice drag queens, and there's a lot of catty drag queens out there. You know what I mean? It's a trope for a reason. And I get it, you know what I mean? Not everybody has to be nice. But finding a drag scene that was filled with actual real community and people who actually wanted to lift each other up instead of each competing for an individual imaginary crown that doesn't even exist, it was just really nice to find that.
So I gotta ask this. You brought it up. You talked about it with Joe. You joked about it. There were horrible rumors going around about you while you were in. What's the word? You were stuck on the show. You couldn't go online. Yeah. What was it like to sort of turn your phone on and find out all this bullshit?
It was really upsetting because I've dedicated my entire drag life, not even, scratch that, I've dedicated my entire life, since even way back in high school, to being a loud punk rock motherfucker, which means to being against racism, against transphobia, against bigotry of any kind. And I feel like my social media presence has shown that from the time I downloaded MySpace till today. So if people just took 4 seconds to just scroll down any piece of my existence on the internet, they would realize I am not this racist. Yeah. I am not this piece of shit who was disqualified over rumors that can't even be substantiated. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, what did she do? And nobody can actually show anything. And I think there's something to say about the misinformation that is kind of being spread on Reddit across the board. This doesn't just happen to me. I'm not the only victim of, I wouldn't even say victim, you know what I mean? I'm not the only person that this has happened to in life. We've seen it happen with Plain Jane. We've seen it happen over and over again.
The Dragula girls deal with this all the time.
Yes, and I call it the magnification of social media. Even people who are inherently progressive, they are still surrounded by, what's the word I want to look for? Conservative bots. And I feel like the internet engages with rage bait. And the more you see rage bait every day, the more your brain gets trained to act that way yourself, even if it's against your natural nature. And so all of these kids who are 14 on the internet, it feels like they hate drag. You know what I mean? I've seen nasty things get said about every single one of the girls on the cast, not just me. I will say the thing that happened with me has definitely impacted my happiness on the internet, especially not being able to say anything and having the people really genuinely believe I'm this nasty, nasty person. And it's been upsetting, but I want this to stop for everybody. I want them to stop calling my sisters names. I want them to stop spreading misinformation, because it's become this weird game of telephone where every day I learn something new that I did that I never did. You know what I mean?
It's still not ending.
No, one day it's an eyelash curler that I fought somebody over. One day it's that RuPaul decided I was racist. One day it's that I hit somebody in the workroom. One day I hit Athena. It's something new every day, because every day they're like, oh no, this one doesn't make sense. Let's start this one. And so it's when does it end? And can't you guys just enjoy the show and enjoy the fact that queer people are able to represent themselves on such a mainstream platform? The entire government is coming against us every single day, and they are the villains. And it's so sad to watch the community divide and conquer itself when we have real enemies at bay that actually need taken care of.
You know what's so funny? This is such a random tangent, but a friend of mine said this because I work in Hollywood. I cover Oscars in the film industry. That's my number one thing. That's what I do first. And the whole thing with Netflix and Warner Brothers, people are just angry. People just want to get mad at anything, and they want to react.
Yes.
They don't stop and think wait, but if this happens, it means less jobs get lost. They don't want to think that. They just want to rage.
They're just mad.
And it's just, it's everywhere. You're right. It's so prevalent.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you though, has the reaction, at least to your Meet the Queens and to all that, has there been a positive reaction that made you feel good about?
I am slowly starting to see people change their minds and actually question, why they said that in the first place, and question their motives behind it. And I am starting to see people be oh yeah, Discord is cool. But I'm also still seeing people just trying to find new reasons to hate me. It's like they almost don't want to admit, like, maybe I wasn't right about this, or like maybe this wasn't true. And it's just like, they're like, can't she just say she's not racist? It's like, yeah, no, I am not racist. Like, I shouldn't have to say that because I felt like my social media presence would have shown that on its own. Like, I am constantly at Black Lives Matter protests. I am constantly donating to many different organizations, but it's weird to post that on the internet and be like, hey, I donated today. Hey, I was at this march today. Because, like, I'm not trying to get clout out of that. I'm doing this because it is the right thing to do. And talking about it online makes it feel like I'm looking for something out of it, and I'm not. I just want the world to be better.
You know what I would say? This is totally unsolicited advice.
Yeah.
Do every freaking podcast you can.
Yeah.
Do every
Thank
single
you.
thing. Like, go out there, even if they're like, hey, talk less. No.
Yeah, I'm a loud
Tell your
motherfucker.
truth.
I don't
Yeah.
shut up.
Tell your truth.
Yeah, I agree. Also, to that end too, let me just also say, I liked almost everything that you said. I love that she also talked about the fucking let's talk about Lexi being grandma shit over there. I'm glad she called that out. I also love that she's a fan of drag, not drag race, and that's where her aesthetic comes from. Just smart. Like what truly. Like I know she had a lot of time to process it, but she just has an intellect to her that is just wild. That's just stunning. Yeah.
And I feel bad because, just listening to it again, I was just like, she can't win. Like this will follow her. I don't know how she can win. There will always someone 5 years from now, if she comes back on All Stars, if she doesn't win the season, someone or top whatever will be like, yeah, but didn't she like, do something with like whatever? And I feel bad. To be honest, this is like one of the things where it's like we are very minor public figures, like super minor. But it's one of those things where like, I'm sort of glad I don't do a lot of television. Like I don't you never know when something crazy like this is gonna happen, and I just anyway. But these queens, as you just said, so many of them are super smart. And we've got a nurse who works in an HIV clinic in Mandy Mango. We've got a lawyer in Jane Don't. We have Nikki, who is she's from Denver. She's you just mentioned it. She's a mechanical engineer. Am I right?
Or a bioengineer or something like that.
Bioengineer or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some really smart queens, which means it can be a really good season. So I'm hopeful. Fingers crossed. I hope we're not bored.
I hope so too, at least until they get to Snatch Game and Ruth says, hey, do you remember Vanessa Williams's ex-husband from 3 years ago? You should do that. You should do that for your Snatch Game. I don't know who that is, but Rue wants it, so okay, I'll make it happen. Have you ever heard of El DeBarge?
Have you ever heard of El DeBarge? Which, by the way, many of these queens have heard of El DeBarge.
You know what? You're right.
But I just want to say too, if you are listening and if you enjoyed this, especially on YouTube, leave a comment. Like, share, spread. If you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, please like or rate us if you've enjoyed this content. Listen, we do this for nothing. We do this because we're fans and we want to just spread the love. So any support we can get, we totally appreciate. And we want to hear from you. So please, give us feedback. Let us know.
worldwideteapod.bsky.social. It's always open to you. Please feel free to drop your thoughts or ideas out there. Feel free to check out the comment section. A lot of queens tend to hang out in the comment section. That's all I'm going to say. Just drop on down there, especially if on the YouTube iteration. But as always, thank you so much, Greg. For a very brief time, we are down to one season of Drag Race, Canada's Drag Race. We're covering it. It's a lovely time. What was that last thing you wanted to say?
I just, Evan, I don't know if I can go with a week without asking, but did you know that Paige and Bones were friends?
I had no idea. From what I understand, they work 6 days a week. I think so. If you
Barcelona.
want to get any of those references, you need to listen to Worldwide Tea. It's where it's at. It's Alyssa Edwards' favorite podcast, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
But most importantly, thank you everyone for listening. We will catch you next week. As always, have a great night. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye. Goodbye.